Thank you so much, everyone. Hi, we're going to start this live stream all over again. It looks like I'm going to have to edit this part out. I forgot to have my microphone on. So, hi, I'm Todd Nauck. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel for San Diego Comic-Con at Home, Day 3, Saturday, July 25th. Today I'm drawing Silver Surfer on this blue Post-it note, and it'll be a giveaway at the end of this live stream. It'll be given away to one lucky live stream viewer. So if you're watching this on replay, the contest is already over. But yeah, this is my last giveaway for San Diego Comic-Con weekend, so glad you're here. And let's have some fun drawing, okay? And especially now that we've got some sound going here. So let's see. Yeah, sorry I made y'all have to read my lips. So how's it going? It's going well. How are things going with y'all? Just gonna start roughing in the basic shapes here. It looks like someone caught that I'm doing a Dipper Pines cosplay from Gravity Falls. Yes, good catch, Cena. Yeah, I just finished the Dipper Pines. I just finished the Dipper Pines show featuring all these other characters. Just finished watching Gravity Falls for the first time, and yeah, such a fun show, I didn't have cable back when it first aired, and I had so many friends that liked that show. They kept saying, Todd, you should check out this show if you like weird stuff, if you like cryptids and mysteries and stuff. You got to watch Gravity Falls. And finally got around to doing it, and binged all 2 seasons, all 40 episodes, and just discovered they have some shorts, so I had to find the little short features, the Gravity Falls shorts, and watch those as well. I was looking at the voice cast on IMDb, and to see who was all playing which different characters, and then that's when I noticed, wait a second, it's saying that there's they did a bunch of shorts, so I got to watch those next. And since my hair's grown out to a Dipper Pines length, I figured that would be a fun cosplay to now add to my roster. One thing about Silver Surfer is if you're not good at drawing ears, don't worry about it with Silver Surfer. For some reason, he doesn't have ears. I think he had ears before he became the Silver Surfer. But then when Galactus turned him into the Silver Surfer, maybe Galactus said, you don't need these ears no more. Where's my eraser? Who am I drawing? I'm drawing Silver Surfer. Probably asked that question before I started seeing things. Do I watch Stranger Things? Absolutely I do. Love Stranger Things. Riff Tracks. The guys who used to be on Mystery Science Theater, they still do riffs. They still riff movies, and they also will riff things like Netflix shows and whatnot. And they did a free live riffing of Stranger Things Season 1, Episode 1 on Wednesday night. So got me wanting to just like, I got to watch this whole series again now, since I've already rewatched the first episode this week. Now I just got to go and rewatch seasons 1 through 3. Come on, nose. What was wrong? Try and get this nose to fit on here just right. Is it still no sound? Can y'all hear me? Let me turn up my volume here, because I turned the mic on. Say something here. Is it still no sound? No? Can y'all hear me? Turn up my volume here, because I turned the mic on. Oh, the mic is on now. Okay, thank you. For a second I thought, wait, if y'all can't hear me, but now I hear it coming through here. Want to make sure I'm not wasting my time here saying a bunch of words that's not getting to you. So thanks so much for confirming that, because I say the light's on unless something's wrong with the connection over here, but we're all good. Let's keep the show rocking and rolling. So technology, who knows how it all works? Probably take a scientist to explain. So let's see. Do I do a lot of inking? Yes, I do. I pretty much ink everything I draw, whether it be professionally or for fun or for commissions or whatever. Yeah. Yep. I do my own inking, and so I do a lot of that, and I really enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. I sound just like Todd Nauck. I've been working on this impersonation for almost my whole life, I would say. So I'm glad to know that I finally got there. How will I choose the winner? That will be revealed at the end of the live stream. So do stay tuned. I will be asking a trivia question, and the first person to post the correct answer wins the post-it. That's the way I've done it the past 2 days. Love the cosplay. I definitely have the hair for it now. The hair was the deciding factor. I've been having to wear a cap in the past month to keep the hair out of my face while I draw. And then since I've been watching all the Gravity Falls, I kind of realized, you know what? I kind of have a Dipper Pines length of hair right now. I should see if they make a Dipper Pines hat. And maybe I could do a Dipper Pines cosplay. And wouldn't you know, eBay knew, and it started suggesting the t-shirt, the fleece vest, and it's like, all right, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I'm gonna just pull the trigger on all of this. Apparently other people have put together a Dipper Pines cosplay here on the eBay. And here we are now. After this, I'm gonna go looking for some mysteries. Just need to find that journal. I don't think I have made that nose long enough. Why is the Silver Surfer's nose giving me this much trouble? It's got a very kind of long, not really long, but it's not short. It's a very slender nose, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Wouldn't say his face is as quite as long as like Doctor Strange's is, but it's still has a bit of a slender sleekness to it. Just want to break down my shapes as much as possible. Be doing that silvery sort of texture, much like I did with Colossus on Thursday. This is a character I've been wanting to draw on a post-it note live stream for some time, and I realized maybe today is just the right day for that. All right, let's pop into some inks. Any advice for young teens on how to get to their goal of being a comic book artist? Well, all I can do is speak from my experience, because I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was a young teen. And my first step on that was actually just making comic books. I took some printer paper, folded it in half, and just started writing and drawing each panel and page as I went. And it was so much fun. I knew that day, this is what I do for the rest of my life. So I just kept doing it. And they would just slowly get better just by the repetition of trying. So if you're going to ask me, that's what I did. And here I am now. You know, I do it for a living. I got good enough to be a professional comic book artist. So, yeah, that's that would be my advice. Just go for it. Just try. Because really, I think when it comes to getting good at our art, or really any skill that you want to pursue, you just got to get in there and do it. You know, don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about it not being perfect, because that's going to just frustrate you, and or at least it frustrated me, and it kind of held me back too much. So just go for it. Just start drawing and enjoy the process. Art is a journey. We're going to discover and learn things as we go. Our work is going, and our skills and our style is going to evolve over time. There's no one set, like, arrival point. It's like just always learning, striving, growing, evolving, making choices with our approach to art as we go. So that's my advice to young teens. Just start drawing and then work on the things that are a challenge. And when we're a young teen, everything is a challenge. Figure work, anatomy, poses, storytelling, design, drawing backgrounds in perspective. It's all very challenging. So just start with just the joy and love of creating, and you'll overcome these challenges over the course of time. And it will take years. More than likely, it will take you years, but that's why it's great to be starting as a young teen, because it gives you more time to work out all those kinks, get past your problem areas in your art, and to find ways to level up. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps. I'm a big proponent of have fun. Keep drawing, have fun, and learn as you go, because that's what I did for me. Like I said, I can only speak from my experience. How do you practice drawing? Kind of similar to that question I just answered. For me, just doing it, just drawing every day. And because each illustration is a drop in that bucket, is a step on that journey. And for me, I would just learn as I go. I didn't have a lot of opportunities to learn. YouTube did not exist when I was a kid. So I didn't have opportunities to watch professional artists draw. The only thing I had was actually looking at comic books or cartoons. I had magazine articles I could read every now and again if I could find a comic book industry trade magazine, and that was it. I didn't even know anyone in the art field, in other art fields where I lived as a kid. So I was very alone in all that. So I just had fun drawing. I had fun creating. I had fun drawing, and I just would learn as I go. I'd find new. I would just develop as I went. It was slow going, sure, but I was able to take art classes in high school for my junior and senior year, both semesters, which I loved because it meant I got to draw in class without getting in trouble. And I did go to art college, and that helped me level up a lot faster. I was able to break into the industry, the comic book industry, 1 year after I graduated. So art college did pay off for me. I'm using the Pigma Micron pen here for the inks, the 08, if people are wondering. And I was penciling with my Uni Kuratoga 0.3 HB lead mechanical pencil, but really any pencil works. Any pencil gets the job done. A pencil is a pencil is a pencil for the most part, as long as you keep the pencil tip sharp. Keep the pencil sharp, unless you're doing an effect that needs a blunted pencil tip, blunted point. But if you need really fine detail, always keep sharpening that pencil if you don't have a mechanical pencil. sometimes I switch back and forth. I have a regular wooden pencil, art pencil. All the brands, as far as I'm concerned, are similar enough. And then I have my mechanical pencil. Depends on what technique I'm going for. So don't worry about too much which pencil to use to get good at your art. You can use a number 2 lead pencil. Sometimes I use a number 2 lead pencil. You can buy them by the box at an office supply store, and they're cheap. And still HB lead. It's all the same. Or all very similar. I'm sure some people say, technically it's not the same. And that might be true. But you know what? When you're starting off, it's good enough. It's good enough. I've penciled many a professional comic book with a number 2 lead pencil. Do I have any tips for drawing hair? I probably do. It's a shame I'm drawing a bald character right now. Otherwise, I could instruct as I go. That's kind of like I'm a visual learner, so in many ways I'm a visual teacher. So you might want to check out, after this live stream, check out some of my videos of characters that have hair, especially the more recent videos. And I'm sure I probably share some tips on how I do that, about how I create the shapes and then draw the strands of hair inside and things like that. So that would probably be my best answer to your question right now. I'm so sorry I can't really advise on that while I'm drawing a character like this. Because if this character had hair, yeah, I'd be walking you right through that, more than likely. How old was I when I got my first job in comics? Doesn't have to be professionally. Well, technically, any job you do that you get paid for, you're now a professional. So my first professional job was, because my first job to draw comics, was my first professional job. I was 21 years old. I was 21 years old when I got my first paid, published comic book job. And then I got another small gig, and then another small gig, and then about a year and a half later, I broke in working full-time. And that was working for Rob Liefeld at Extreme Studios. Rob Liefeld's the guy that created Deadpool and Cable and Domino. So he had started Image Comics there in the early 1990s, and he discovered me from my mini comics I made. Like when I was making those mini comics I was talking about earlier in the show, about in high school I'd make these mini comics. I started doing that again in college, in art school, and those were and they looked a lot better than my high school ones. And Rob Liefeld saw those, and he liked them, and he hired me. He hired me like 3 days later. I got the call saying, saw your mini comics, think they're cool. Now, how did he get my mini comics? A buddy of mine from art school who had copies, because I gave him copies of my comics, because we would share our mini comics with each other. He took him to a convention. He was trying to break into the industry as an inker. And so he was working security for the convention. One of the artists who worked for Rob Liefeld was at the convention. And so he showed my pencils and his inks to the artist. He didn't really think much of those. And then my friend Jaime pulled out the mini comics and said, what do you think of these? He goes, these are cool. Can I take them back to show Rob? And then Rob saw him. And then that following Wednesday, after that Comic-Con weekend, it was a Houston comic book convention, which I was not at because I was in Pennsylvania at that time. That following Wednesday, I get a phone call saying, we saw your mini comics. We think they're really cool. Rob and his editors there at Extreme Studios. And we want you to work for us. Work for Extreme Studios. And so I got that job. I was 22 when I got that call. And then I just turned 23 10 days before I packed up and moved to California to work in Rob's studio, to work full-time in the comic book industry as a comic book artist. And it's a dream job. It's a thrill. I love it. It's the toughest job I've ever loved. It really is hard. It is hard to learn all this. So that's why you gotta keep working, gang. If you want to do this for a living, you got to get used to be able to draw long hours every day, because you will do that. You will work long hours many, many days in a row to get the job done. All right, so that gives us the inks there for the surfer. We're going to do a color space background and everything, so but that's yet to come. Where do you get your ideas of characters to draw? Well, to draw like Marvel and DC characters, you know, just which characters do I like, which one has a cool costume design or powers, or what's the kind of story that I want to tell, or what's the kind of effect I want to draw, or who am I just a fan of? When it comes to my creator-owned stuff, the characters I create, just about anything can inspire me. Just about anything. In everyday life, I've based characters off of all sorts of things. I come up with a name, I come up with a power, I come up with a look, and then one of those three things, and then I build the rest of the character around that. Do learning anatomy and finding your art style go hand in hand? In many ways. Not 100%, but in many ways. Yeah, because you are drawing. You are learning, you are growing, you're finding out how you want to make your lines and shapes. And to draw anatomy, you have to make lines and shapes. So yes, there is an aspect of your style that develops from that, I believe, yeah. So all right, let's move into some colors. So he's a silvery sort of character, so we're gonna have a lot of silvers going on, but I think I'm gonna do some kind of cosmic lighting around him as well. So we'll see how this all kind of comes together bit by bit. So I'm gonna start with some grays, gonna start with some neutral grays here, this initially. Just some neutral 5 here around the perimeters of these facial shapes to kind of start sculpting the angles of his face. If you just tuned in, stay tuned. At the end of this live stream, this will be given away. This post-it note will be given away to one lucky viewer. First person who can answer my trivia question. All right, let's power this down to a cool or neutral gray 4. Just continually sculpting bit by bit. I've learned the planes of the face. And now I'm just, see, I'm going to power down. It's going to skip neutral 3 and go right to neutral 2. So I know the angles of the face, at least enough to draw Silver Surfer and how to sculpt each angle of the face. Just kind of letting this brush tip dance across the paper there to kind of create these silvery aspects. Apparently I just got a voicemail. Kirby dots in the background. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if there might be a slight aspect of that. Not like hardcore Kirby crackles, but maybe some slight nuanced Kirby crackle. Who hired you to work for Marvel? Originally, the very, very first job I did, it was for an editor at that time. Her name was Renee Witterstatter. Gave me my very first paid published work. All right, I'm going to drop a little bit of light blue amongst this. Where's my shade? Ah, there it is. Some light blue here. Now, it's not really going to show up a lot because of the blue paper. I just want to kind of manipulate these shades of gray into kind of a bluish, grayish silver. Just a little bit. Just for that kind of classic comic book Silver Surfer look. It's a very subtle approach here. And mind you, the color choices I am choosing are based on the this blue paper. I might make different choices if I was coloring on white paper. All right, so I want to put some colored lighting on him, but before I do that, I think I need to figure out my space background. So I'm going to do my space nebula technique. A lot of people ask me, how do I do this? I've done it a couple of times in some previous Post-it Note live streams. We're going to do it again. So I'm going to start with black. I work dark to light because I really want these colors to blend together. So I'm just going to start to create a space nebula here. And this, I don't like the tip of this. I have like multiple black markers here, all the same color. I need to replace the nib of that one because it's a little too soft. It's a little too mushy. You can replace the nibs of your markers, of your Copic sketch markers. So when the nib starts to get a little too limp, you can pop it out, put in a new one, give it maybe 5 minutes for the ink to fill up that nib, and then you're back to rocking and rolling. So I'm leaving some gaps because we're going to go from black to gray to color. So I'm trying to capture a little bit of that Kirby crackle in the background, but I have an idea of how to do some other techniques that I think will look cool. All right, so that gets things started with the black. Now I want to go to a neutral gray. I'm going to try 6. Usually I'd go with a 7, but I don't want to lose too much of that Kirby crackle look. So we'll go with a neutral 6. I'm pulling from that black into the real estate I've left open here. I'll keep doing dots to keep that Kirby crackle motif going. Next up, I'm going to power down to the neutral 3. Pulling from the darker shades I've inked in towards the open part. Okay, so I still have some really open areas here, and that's where now I'm going to start dropping in some colors. What color do I want to use? Ah, there it is. I like this one. Nope, that's not the one I like. There's the one I like. Some RV, some red violet 1-4. Very bright shade of pink. Actually, on this blue paper, it translates a little darker, so I'm going to go a bit lighter. I'm going to try this R20. That's all right, but it's a little too light. Let's try the RV13. Yeah, that works a little bit better. We're going to try some purple. Let's try some V04. So I got some pinks and purples pulling this way, and now I'm going to switch to kind of like some blue-greens. So the BG34, I think might be a, yeah, I like that color. So I just color this color over the blacks, over the grays, and they all start to kind of blend together. So you kind of got these shades of moving from the dark into the color areas. So it kind of creates a nice gradation. Let's throw in a little bit of bright blue up here in this corner. Some B01. You can color it over that blue-green and a little bit over this purple, so they all kind of blend together. So I've started to create this this background for him. See, when you color the light colors over the dark colors, it kind of makes those dark colors blur and blend. So you get this real nice gradation. You can have hard cuts in there if you want, but yeah, just all your personal preference. Now, what I wanted to do was put some space, what colors I used in the Space Nebula, as kind of some subtle lighting on the surfer. So since we have the pinks over here, I'm going to reflect some pinks on this side of his face. It's a very subtle sort of transition. I have other effects I'm going to do here for surfers, so we are just, in some ways, just getting started. We have some pinks on that side. And where's that blue-green I was using? Because I used the blue-green over here. I'm going to come in and do some blue-green lighting on this side. If you just joined me, thanks for coming to my Artist Alley table here at San Diego Comic-Con at home. Hope you're having a good Saturday. This sketch card, or it's not a sketch card, this Post-it note sketch will be raffled off at the end of this live stream. So do stick with me for your chance. One person will get to claim this as their own, and I will mail it out to them, to the winner. Just adding some more neutral gray 3 here. Okay, so we still have some more effects to do. One thing I want to do is, I found my pencil sharpener, so I was able to sharpen my favorite of white color pencils, the Prisma watercolor white pencil. What I'm going to do is come in here and just start kind of shading in some white to really kind of pump up my silver texture. So while I do this, I'm going to check out some more questions. How do pink and blue-green help? Well, I'm not quite sure if I understand your question. I'm utilizing them here because I wanted to put a reflected light of the Space Nebula behind Surfer onto his skin. So that's why I'm utilizing them here. You don't always have to. It's just, I thought it would look cool. I thought it would put a little color into the surfer's metallic skin tone. Put some on the inside here. So I'll definitely be putting this white pencil around the perimeter, like this really open area, because it's where most of the cosmos light is hitting him. And then on the insides as well. So just trying to create that silvery metallic sort of look. Any advice on how to make comics or mini comics? When I made my mini comics, I just drew them up and printed them on my mom's work printer, and not work printer, work photocopier. Now, mind you, this is the 1980s, and that was the height of technology. We did not, or at least we didn't have the programs we have nowadays to create comics. I mean, there are programs I use to draw comics digitally, Clip Studio Paint. There's programs I can use that are used to take the original or the traditional art we do, can scan that in, color it in Photoshop, send the digital files off to the printer, things like that. But as a kid, you can print them right off your home computer. You can take the art to a photocopier and photocopy them. It's a bit of a challenge to figure out how to do that, and certainly not something I can explain while drawing like this. That's a whole different thing. I don't even know if I could explain that in a video, the ins and outs of how to print out your own comics. But yeah, my first ones, they did not, my goodness, is great question. It's requiring a lot of brain power to even try to describe that whole process, because I did that back when I was a teenager. Got better at it. I learned a lot at the Art Institute that helped me print them out better at the Kinko's copy shop. They're now FedEx Kinko's. I don't even know if they still use the word Kinko's at those locations, but FedEx bought Kinko's. But that was the big chain copy shop place I'd go to make my photocopies of my work, my art samples to send Marvel and DC, and to make my homemade mini comics. So I wish I had a better way to answer that question for you. It's pretty involved, but part of it required me taking apart a comic book and looking at which page goes to which next page, so that when they're printed and folded and put together as a booklet, it all lines up correctly. So yeah, I did a lot of I did a lot of destruction and reverse engineering as a kid in the 1980s. So you might not want to tear apart one of your favorite comics. Take one of your old beat up comics that you've read till it's fallen apart, and you can take that apart and see how the pages line up to create how they're printed, which page has to go next on the paper, so that when they fold together, they fit correctly. Sorry for that wibbly wobbly answer. In some areas, I'm bearing down and putting more white. Some areas, I'm leaving less white, going just a light feathered coloring, so that we can still see the grays and greens and pinks underneath. Okay. Just gonna add a little more white here on the sides, really brighten it up. I'm gonna set right down the middle of his nose. On the chin right there. Really put a nice bright light highlight. Okay, still not quite done yet. Still have more to do. Let's see. Next up, I need to add the stars and the outline that I put around the figure, around the head here. Any food while drawing. Do I eat while I draw? Very rarely. If I do, it's got to be something that's like not messy. Because you don't, you know, I can't eat a bag of Doritos while I draw. Otherwise, I get the cheese dust all over the art. It's really disgusting, actually. You know, you can't eat a plate of spaghetti while drawing. I mean, you can, but you're probably gonna get spaghetti sauce splatters on the art. So, you know, greasy foods, messy foods, nah. But you know, maybe some almonds. I can snack on almonds while I draw. That's why what I usually, if I need to snack while working, it's usually that. Otherwise, I just step away from the table, eat, and then come back. So I'm using the Uniball Signo white gel pen, if I forgot to mention that. I'm going to come in here and start dotting in some stars. Actually, before I start doing that, usually I fill in the eyes with the white pencil, but because of the Silver Surfer's power, I want to use the white gel pen for his eyes so that they kind of look like they're brighter than his metallic skin. So the eyes really pop off of his face. What size is the cardboard? Are you referring to what I'm drawing on here? This is a 3" by 3" pad of Post-it notes. Just regular old Post-it notes. So now I want to put his power, kind of like lightning bolts coming from his eyes. Kind of smoldering. Do the same from this side. Decided it's better to do the power effect before I do the stars, because I want to make sure that it doesn't get all muddied up. If I have this lightning bolt crossing over too many stars, it might look kind of muddy. It's easier for me to put stars in around the power effect as needed. Now go back to dropping in the stars. What's my preferred paper stock for coloring with Copics? I use Strathmore Bristol board. Just lightly dot them in. Try to get big dots and little dots. And try to vary the clusters so it's not too symmetrical. So I don't want to do stars like this. That's almost moving in towards like a grid pattern. What I want to do is do little clusters and then move to other little clusters. So I have to make sure the clusters don't become too symmetrical. It's very difficult to convey a sense of randomness in this way because it's not truly random, because I'm in control of where I put these dots. So there's not going to give that true randomness of a starry sky. I'm having to create that illusion of randomness. And that's not always easy to do. So I try to be as thoughtful as I can as to how concentrated or how sparse I place the stars in the background. So that gives the illusion of a random star pattern. But never is truly random, not so long as I have control. Now I've already take some white paint and a white art paint and a toothbrush. I could fleck it, and maybe one day I'll show you that technique when I get the right. I need to get some new white art paint and a new art toothbrush, which is just a regular toothbrush that you use for art, not on your teeth. Don't confuse your actual toothbrush with your art toothbrush. It's disgusting. And show you how you can do that to get true randomness, because you're not in control of that fleck. The toothbrush is going to throw the paint in a crazy way. There is a little bit of control, but you have far less control than if you're just dotting in the stars yourself like I'm doing right here, right now. Okay, so I think this one's done. Let me throw my signature on there, and we will ask I will ask the trivia question to see if we can find the winner for this. So right now I'm going to put my signature on here, or at least put my name, the signature I use when I draw my comic book covers. And today's date is the 25th, July 2020. All right. Now for the trivia question, are you ready? So, it's Silver Surfer related. I hope this might be considered an easy question. I considered several different questions I could ask in regards to Silver Surfer. So, Silver Surfer wasn't always Silver Surfer. He was a guy that lived on a planet that Galactus was going to eat, and he offered himself as a sacrifice to be his herald if he would spare his planet. So Silver Surfer wasn't always silver. When Silver Surfer was a normal dude, what was that normal dude's name? What was the name of the Silver Surfer before he became the Silver Surfer? So the first person who, oh, look at there, Jason Scanlon got it right away. Someone knows their Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad, and you even spelled it correctly. Correct? Congratulations, Jason. This will be mailed out to you, and I just need to have you shoot me an email, mail@wildguard.com, and I will get this sent out to you. Oh, look at all these other. Everybody's got the right answer there. Yeah, Jack Kirby. That's good. That's good. I like that, Anthony. Yeah, Norrin Rad became the Silver Surfer. I was going to consider asking what was the name of the woman that the Silver Surfer loved. What was the name of his true love? I didn't know if that might be too difficult of a question. But if you know the answer, I'm curious to see. Does anyone know the answer of this question is just purely for fun now, just for bragging rights is all you get. If you know the name of Norrin Rad's girlfriend, we'll say. I don't know how relationships work on his planet. Wow, Jason, you really know your Silver Surfer. Shalabal, that's correct. Wow, all right, Jason, you locked in your win big time. You not only get the Silver Surfer, you also get the bragging rights. Gang, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I need to wrap up today's live stream, but I've got another live stream going on today, my afternoon live stream, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll be doing another long form illustration on a sketch cover. Still decide, I need to go through my sketch cover collection, see which ones I have left that I might be able to do something with. And so yeah, come join me then. That's today, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. If you're international, use the Google machine to ascertain what time that might be for you. But if you're subscribed to my channel, make sure you set your notifications. That's just tapping that little bell icon to set your notifications to alert you for the next time I'm either schedule a live stream or upload art videos so you never miss out on what I'm doing. So you can come and join me live or be one of the first ones to watch a video I upload. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the chat here, live viewers. I appreciate that. So sorry I couldn't respond to every question or comment, but I do appreciate y'all chatting here with me. If you're watching this in replay, feel free to leave a comment in the videos or the comment section below. And please do leave me a thumbs up if you liked seeing what I did here. I do appreciate that support. And feel free to share my videos with others if you think they might be into seeing this stuff. So gang, thanks so much. I'll see you just in a little bit. 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern for live stream 2 of my Saturday, day 3, San Diego Comic-Con at Home Artist Alley live streams. Boy, that's a bit of a mouthful for a title. Gang, I'm Todd Nauck. Keep on drawing. Keep having fun. Take care.